Now we're going to start on the speaker install. I already put the ceiling speakers in after I insulated, just to kind of air seal the ceiling, but I was waiting on some of these terminals to come in so I can start hooking the wires up, and that's what we're going to do now. Maybe we'll get all the surround sound speakers in. I'm not going to put the subwoofers in yet because still waiting on carpet, but I got a Klipsch Dolby Atmos surround sound speaker, a whole set that was on sale. Now it didn't come with the rear speakers, so I got the rear speakers from Polk Audio, but hope you enjoy the speaker install. Just one big step closer to having a theater. Alright, so I got the terminal ends put on our wire. Got the wires connected into the speaker. Now we're going to put it to the wall. Something a little extra I did, may not have to do. It's just I got to thinking, these two being metal, maybe it's plastic, I don't know. Looks like metal, but I'm afraid of these two hitting, making contact, causing noise, all kinds of stuff. You know what happens when two speaker wires touch together. So I just put a little layer of electrical tape around the negative lead, just for a little added protection. Might be something I don't need, but I really want to try to minimize any issues I might have whenever we go to turn everything on. I don't have to pull speakers back out. So now let's put the speaker in. Alright, I want to explain how these in-wall speakers work and how they mount. To me, it's a really ingenious design. You've got these pawls right here. You've got 4 of them on this speaker. They come from the factory pulled out of the way so that you can slide it onto your drywall without any issue, no clearance issues. But the problem is, some people, this is the screw right here to tighten it up. Some people push it into the wall and immediately start tightening up the screw. Strips out the pawl, then you have an issue. So what you want to do, the screw right here, when you put your speaker into the wall, as you can see the pawl right there, you loosen it up. Just a couple turns. Once you loosen it up, as you can see, it can move freely. Then you tighten it up. And as you tighten it up, it's going to draw it all the way to the back of the drywall and put it in place. Makes it real simple to install. I think it's a genius design. Real easy. If you use a drill like I do, you got to be careful not to strip it out. All right, I want to talk a little bit about wiring these speakers. We have ours all wired up now. What I have here is 14-2 wire. 2 wires, each wire's on the inside is 14 gauge each. I went a little overboard on that because I wanted to err on the side of being too big instead of too small, so we won't have sound issues. One of the biggest problems with wires like this is it's difficult to take this rubber shielding, get it cleared out of the way so you can reveal the 2 wires on the inside without cutting into the shielding on each individual wire, the positive and the negative. Obviously, positive and negative, you don't want those 2 wires touching together. Crutchfield.com has some great how-to videos on stuff like this. There's a gentleman on there that explains, use a brand new razor knife, bend the wire like this. You don't saw, nothing like that, but you just lay the blade across it all the way around. Really don't press into it very hard. And as you do that with a brand new razor blade, it'll split that piece of rubber open, the shielding, it'll pop open, turn it over, do it to the other side, and you won't even touch the shielding on the 2 wires on the inside. Then once you get that part complete, take your wire cutters, 14 gauge, strip them like you would normally strip them, put your ends on it. Simple, easy to do. I messed up a few times, that's why my speaker wire was so long on each one of them, but I had to messed up a little bit, cut the end off, start it over, no big deal. So we have shielding all the way the full length of the wires to keep them separated. So now all of our speakers are installed except for the subwoofers. And they're no big deal because they're powered subwoofers. We don't have carpet yet. Whenever the carpet goes in, we bring the subwoofers up here, plug them into the wall, plug them into the subwoofer cables, and they're done. Then it's just going to be a sound check, setup, all that kind of stuff. The only issue that I had was the 2 Polk audio speakers in the rear. I used a template for those and the Klipsch speakers. The Klipsch templates were great, the exact size that I needed. I didn't have to do any trimming. Put the speakers right in, the ceiling and the 3 front speakers. But the Polk audio, I had to trim a little bit around the edges after using the template, but it still was really not that big of a deal. They all went in. Next step. Well, I don't know what the next step is, but that step is done. All right, now that the speakers are installed and we have the wire end, or the speaker end of the wires in, it's time to wire up the speakers to the receiver. And that brings us to our AV closet. I didn't want to have a bunch of clutter up there in the front, but as you can see behind me, the AV closet. Not very impressive. don't have a whole lot in there yet.